Imagine the type of leaders and citizens you have to be dealing with when the focus shifts from the crime you reported to the way you reported the crime.
So the question is, did Mkhwanazi get permission from Masemola?
For too long, South Africans have accepted this nonsense of saying you should shut your mouth when you see rot in or outside the system. Follow procedure when the people you are working with are rotten to the core. Understand that this is an internal matter and only reported internally.
There must be protocol, there must be decorum, there must be doctrine.
This is something we have normalized, but it has reached its expiry date now. It is clearly not serving us and we must rid ourselves of it. Andile Mkhwanazi came out to report various crimes, and guess what? Protocols and procedures are the main thing that the communists are busy thinking and talking about.
Why do you say it's lawlessness?
It borders on lawlessness and a banana republic, that a high-ranking police commissioner can basically go to television and make a disparaging and grave accusations and allegations in the way we have learned about them. And it borders on lawlessness and banana republic, because at the end of the day, we've got to do something about those things. And also the protocol and the discipline of the police command and control is very important. I was a minister of police. I worked very well with the police, and I know protocols of the police.
There must be protocol.
Imagine that. Sadly, this is nothing new. It is typical ANC behavior. Do you remember the state capture days? Ministers came out to rightly snitch on Jacob Zuma. And then what happened? Another ANC loudmouth came out and started to whine and complain about decorum not being present. Instead of focusing on the reports made by various ministers, she was more concerned with following internal processes and nonsensical procedures.
Must do so within the structures of the organization and not through statements in the media. But Babita Deokaran, who is also Social Development Minister, was speaking on the sidelines of the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations held in New York. But in a frank interview, she warned against members of the ANC airing the organization's dirty linen in public.
She feels somewhat conflicted being in New York while the ANC's National Executive Committee sits in Pretoria, but talked about the culture of the organization that was above all else.
The ANC is bigger than all of us, and that anyone who wants to raise an issue about what has happened to them must go to the structures of the ANC, because this has been the culture of the ANC. And therefore, if there are differences, they must be sorted out from the officials level up until the National Executive Committee level. They cannot be sorted out through media statements.
So are you taking particular issue with the statement released by the Deputy Minister of Finance? You feeling that should have been an internal discussion?
Not only the minister. Everyone has been talking, starting from the issue of the appointment of the Minister of Finance to the issues of the people that were approached and others calling on people to speak about what has happened to them. So we might have different issues, and all those issues are not important. It is the ANC that is important, because if one starts throwing hanging dirty linen outside, the others are going to say, you too have done this and this and that. And so that is why it has never been the culture of the ANC to discuss issues outside the African National Congress.
She said her experience with the Guptas was limited to reading their newspapers and watching their television channel.
Even that family, if people feel it has to be brought to book, structures must do that. The officials must call them and talk to them and give them a marching order, not through shouting outside.
There must be protocol.
Protocol, processes, decorum, standard go-tos for the ANC, ne? This is a more respectable way for criminals to hide their rubbish. Look at this other one.
Days of statements and populism have ended. If he has got evidence on them, he must arrest them. We're not a country of lawlessness. We don't want statements. We don't want press briefings. We want people to be arrested. If you are doing crime, you're putting drugs in our country, you're working with criminals, arrest them. We don't want commissioners that are becoming politicians. We want commissioners that act. His role as a commissioner of police is to arrest those who do crime. Now, we don't want him to be a pop star. If he wants to contest politics, he must come to branches of the ANC and contest. But if he wants to be a commissioner, he must arrest those who do crime. We don't want statements, we want arrests.
So now we have to spend time to justify why General Mkhwanazi had to come out in public and inform the people that their own lawless government is behind the destruction of their own country as well as other countries. Really? Are you serious right now? There comes a time when you have to take what you have and run straight to the media. Otherwise, the comrades will delete you in your sleep. They might sneak up on you and make sure that you fall on a knife. Or perhaps you might have to crash your car into a truck. Just look at this post. Andile Matshaya followed protocol and died. Moses Tshake followed protocol and died. Zweli Duma followed protocol and died. Ignatius Nteso followed protocol and died. Lawrence Moyebi followed protocol and died. Babita Deokaran followed protocol and died. Cloete Murray followed protocol and died. Be bold. Do not be afraid of these hyenas. They come for you in the night because they fear the light. To win against them, fight them in the light. If you stay in the darkness, they will silence you in the darkness. Do not be made to follow stupid anti-South African procedures, protocols, and decorum of criminals. Secrecy is not patriotic. Stand tall and speak up. Guys, governments tend to get rotten in private, and everyone within the government will have a choice to make. They will either speak up or they will stay silent and follow protocol. In 1933, for example, America had a general named Smedley Butler who was approached to stage a coup in order to place himself as a president of the U.S.
I appeared before the Congressional Committee, the highest representation of the American people, under subpoena to tell what I knew of activities which I believe might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship. The plan as outlined to me was to form an organization of veterans, to use as a bluff or as a club at least, to intimidate the government and break down our democratic institutions. The upshot of the whole thing was that I was supposed to lead an organization of 500,000 men, which would be able to take over the functions of government. I talked with an investigator for this committee, who came to me with a subpoena on Sunday, November 18th. He told me they had unearthed evidence linking my name with several such veteran organizations. As it then seemed to me to be getting serious, I felt it was my duty to tell all I knew of such activities to this committee. My main interest in all this is to preserve our democratic institutions. I want to retain the right to vote, the right to speak freely, and the right to write. If we maintain these basic principles, our democracy is safe. No dictatorship can exist with suffrage, freedom of speech, and press.
Who was behind it? Business people. What did he do? Keep it internal? Follow processes? Follow procedures? Respect decorum? Absolutely not. He went straight to the media. Once he went to the media, they couldn't fulfill their mission and they couldn't touch him.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
John F. Kennedy knew that there were business people who worked in the shadows and who loved government protocol. He knew it. He spoke about it. His intention was to get rid of those kinds of people, but he failed to publicly name them.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day.
Instead of bringing them to the light, he was assassinated by them, resulting in him taking that secret to the grave.
It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it.
To win against them, fight them in the light. If you stay in the darkness, they will silence you in the darkness.
The report is that the president is dead.
Secrecy is not patriotic. Stand tall and speak up. Edward Snowden became a fugitive from his own country. Why? Because he had come forward to the public to tell them that their own government was abusing them, that their own government was conducting surveillance not only on American citizens, but also on individuals and foreign nationals across the world. He ran away and went to stay in Russia, where he was granted asylum in 2013 after fleeing the United States.
29-year-old Edward Snowden made a number of bold and unverified claims in this interview recorded in a Hong Kong hotel room.
I, sitting at my desk, certainly had the authorities to wiretap anyone from you or your accountant to a federal judge to even the president if I had a personal email.
He justified leaking the documents by painting a bleak picture about what could happen if U.S. intelligence agencies continued to collect and store the communications of Americans.
It's going to get worse with the next generation and the next generation who extend the capabilities of this sort of architecture of oppression. You realize that you might be willing to accept any risk.
Glenn Greenwald is a columnist for Britain's Guardian newspaper. He wrote the first articles based on Snowden's leaks.
He felt very strongly that if this was going to be done, that the public, quite rightly, would want to hear from the person who did it and understand why it was that they did it.
The interview was recorded by a filmmaker known to be close to Julian Assange, the creator of WikiLeaks, that published tens of thousands of classified documents online. Snowden said he fled to Hong Kong because of its commitment to free speech. But if the U.S. asks, it's likely Snowden will be extradited if past requests are any indication. Hong Kong's extradition treaty has a few exceptions if the request is politically motivated or if the suspect will not be given a fair trial. You're still in touch with Mr. Snowden. What is he thinking right now? What is he worrying about right now?
To be honest, he's actually not very worried. He believed it was more important for the public to learn about what was being done by the United States and the spying apparatus and the effect that it was having on our world than it was for him to continue to live this comfortable life of making lots of money, living in Hawaii, having career stability and the like. He really did sacrifice knowing that he'd become the world's most wanted man, and the fact that it's happened is not a surprise to him.
They said he didn't follow protocol. He didn't follow procedure. He lacked decorum. Things like these are signs that your government has become rotten. People like Cyril Ramaphosa and Balula and even great heroes like Babita Deokaran and Commissioner Mkhwanazi must remember that they are citizens before they are government employees. They were not born government employees, and when they die, they will not be judged based on how well they followed processes, procedures, and decorum of the government. Every government employee must remember to hold the people of this country in high regard. They must never forget that they are in those roles to serve the people of South Africa. They must know and remember that the government needs to fear and respect the citizens, not the other way around. Law-abiding citizens should not fear their government. Right now, however, people are so scared of the government, the comrades, the tenderpreneurs, as if they are the owners of this country. And that is nonsense. I am a South African, and I will not fear incompetent, evil, and corrupt people. No ways. Mkhwanazi may have his flaws, whatever they are. You should have dealt with them back when they occurred. Right now, he's dealing with your weaknesses. Answer those ones first. If you did not do anything about Mkhwanazi's weaknesses 13 years ago, why are you bringing them now when he is saying there is dirt here? Is this a game of we all have our own smolanyana skeletons, therefore we should all keep each other's skeletons in the closet? Is that it?
Because all of us there in the NEC have our smolanyana skeletons, and we don't want to take out all skeletons out because there will be, or hell will break loose.
Mkhunu, Sbia, and their fellow accused must account. Let the evidence do the talking. Clean up this beautiful country of ours. ANC comrades, traditional leaders, and various families want us to live by ubuntu while they don't do the same. They want us to hold them in high esteem while they take advantage of the weak all the time. We are told to be respectful of elders. Meanwhile, the elders and families are busy impregnating young girls in the community and even in the family.
I don't want to see this man in front of me no more. I hate him.
Grace is a mother consumed with hate. Her family now another statistic of South Africa's rampant child abuse.
I feel bad. I feel bad.
Her daughter, who we'll call Ruth, was raped. She's just 10, still a child.
That guy, she come. Me, I'm going to the toilet. She come to the toilet. I say, no, Malum. I in the toilet, go outside. She come to the toilet and close my mouth with clothes. That means she closed my mouth with clothes. And she.
One child in every 5 in South Africa is sexually abused by the time they're in their late teens. In Diepsloot, where an estimated 600,000 people now live, rape is shockingly commonplace. Almost everyone knows a rapist, or they've been raped, or they're doing the raping. Like this 40-year-old, a father of 2 boys himself, who raped the toddler he was looking after. She was his niece and 6 years old, and the rapist is still living a few shacks away from the child's mother. Many rapes go unreported because they don't trust the police or because deals are done. In this case, the mother, who hasn't had a job in more than a year, accepted 5,000 rand, or around £250.
I left the baby with him. I know he's him. So we'll find out. Cousin, mothers, uncles for that man, give me 5,000. Go to hospital for golden. My baby.
To take the baby to hospital?
And then after then,
they asked her that she mustn't report the matter to the police.
The rapist has HIV/AIDS and believes raping a child would cure him.
We cannot say anything about that because that is a lack of decorum and ubuntu, right? Little girls are told to never tell people, keep it internal, observe the protocols, even if doing that equates to allowing yourself to be violated and traumatized. We are told to be respectful to the comrades because they are our elders, meanwhile they steal from the citizens. Their actions and inactions lead to the death of some citizens. The nation is destroyed because of them, but we must just respect them because of protocols, respect and ubuntu, right?
Also the protocol and the discipline.
There must be protocol.
I worked very well with the police and I know protocols.
There must be decorum.
We might have different issues, and all those issues are not important. It is the ANC that is important.
There must be doctrine.
Guys, we need to be very careful of allowing those words and cultures to be used to our own detriment and abuse. How they are used to silence us and keep us in fear. Right now, David Mabuza has passed away. People want to come and tell us lies that he was such a great man. Let's be honest, South Africans. What good man was David Mabuza? Just because he gave someone a scholarship and helped establish a school, then we should all forget all the evil that he did. When it comes to David Mabuza, if someone was to speak like this at his funeral, it would have been justified.
This guy was a very, very dangerous person. He was a killer, stealing, raping, and our communities couldn't move freely because of this kind of people. I think we deserve to die. Humble heart.
But doing that would be anti-process, anti-ubuntu, anti-procedure, anti-decorum, right? David Mabuza was a man with various allegations of corruption. How he managed to rise to become a deputy president is a mystery on its own. It shows you that the ANC is corrupt in and out. How people like Paul Mashatile and David Mabuza managed to become deputy presidents is just beyond me. It goes to show that the ANC has no vetting. Criminals come and go, occupy influential positions where they do as they please, and nothing is said about it due to procedures, processes, and decorum. How do you justify that as a party? How do you justify that as an ANC voter? A party so rotten that when dealing with it, you need to observe protocols. That's mafia talk, Mos.
What he's saying is correct, but it did not have a sense of occasion. Where he said it is wrong, and secondly, and it's wrong for it to be said by anybody who's wearing a uniform. There must be protocol, there must be decorum, there must be doctrine.
Fellow South Africans, let us not observe protocols for criminals and abusers. Let us rather expose them. Anyway, that's it for today. If you'd like to support the work that we do here, please join our membership or buy our merchandise from www.citizenconcerned.co.za. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.